Are you a faith-driven high achiever over 35 trying to figure out exactly how many calories that you actually need to lose fat without wrecking your metabolism, feeling like you're starving all the time, or giving up your lifestyle? See, getting in the wrong calorie zone can actually sabotage your fat loss goals. It can drain your energy. It can cost you lean body mass and make the whole process feel dang near impossible. So in this video, I'm actually going to show you exactly how to calculate your ideal calorie target the smart, sustainable way so that you can finally make real progress that actually sticks and without feeling miserable. So let's go ahead and dive in here. Alrighty. So how many calories should you actually eat to lose fat? We're going to go ahead and talk about that in pretty good detail here too. So fat loss is only going to occur in a calorie deficit. You've probably heard that a lot, but what does that actually mean? That's what we're going to cover, because if you don't know the science behind what causes fat loss, you're going to end up falling prey most likely to all of the stereotypical and fad diets and all of the new, well, there are going to be some variation of a fad that comes out, and they're going to use confusing science to convince you that this is the new and better way or best way to lose fat. And unfortunately, doing this leads people to try things like metafast and all these different, shake type things that end up leading to some rapid fat loss and some really rapid fat gain thereafter. So if that's you, if you've tried every diet under the sun, or maybe just one or two and just had horrible results with it, where maybe you lost some body fat and you gained it all back, this is what I call a temporary makeover, where if you're on this channel, what you're most likely looking for is what we call a permanent fitness transformation. And that's what I cover here. Not going to be the fastest possible way to lose weight or to lose body fat. It's going to be the most sustainable way to get healthy, to get back into shape, to lose body fat. Yes, it'll be as fast as possible in the safe way, but it won't be as fast as possible in the ways that are going to lead to regaining all of that back. So fat loss occurs in a calorie deficit. What does that mean? Well, we have what's called your total daily energy expenditure. This is also known as your real maintenance calories. How many calories you need each day to maintain your body weight. Sometimes you can also say how many calories a day that you're using or burning. And it's going to be made up of four total components of the metabolism. You've got your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, also known as your resting metabolic rate. It's how many calories you burn as a couch potato. So without doing any activity, etc. And this BMR or RMR can greatly, it can be affected by stress, by your lack of sleep, your metabolism based on your diet, all of this stuff, lean body mass, everything is going to affect this number. It's the most important number of all of these that we're going to talk about. Then we've got the thermic effect of food, sometimes known as the thermic effect of feeding. This is how many calories you will burn through digestion and delivery of nutrients when you're eating, okay? So protein, fiber are going to be the highest of TEF. Behind that is going to be regular carbs, not your fibrous carbs, and behind that is fats, okay? And then we've got non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is NEAT. Sometimes you're going to hear me call it NEPA, NEPA, non-exercise physical activity, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis. They're virtually the same thing. NEAT is going to be pertaining to things where it is not conscious movements. So it might be blinking, fidgeting, etc. Whereas NEPA, non-exercise physical activity, it's going to be things like walking, doing things that are just non-scheduled exercise. We're going to use those interchangeably quite a bit on this channel. And then we've got exercise activity, and that's going to be pretty obvious what you're burning when you're exercising. These are the four components that make up your metabolism. Now, most people are not aware of this, and they just slash their calories, or they skip meals, or they cut out carbs. They cut out things like all sweets, all sugars, all soda. And unfortunately, it ends up not only slowing their metabolism, it leads to decreased hormone function and loss of lean body mass over time. That's not what we want. So this is where most plans and diets actually go off track. It's not that you can't lose weight or lose body fat. It's that you regain it all back later, and that's not what we're looking for. Now, if you don't know your total daily energy expenditure, it's kind of like trying to set up your GPS to go on a vacation without knowing where you even are in the beginning. That's not what we want. So, by the way, if you do want a fast shortcut to do this right, I built a free calculator for you. You can find that in the link below too. So, guessing your total daily energy expenditure leads to burnout or plateaus. Knowing it equals control, not confusion. Second here. There we go. Cool. So, what you need to know is that a deficit is going to be where you are consuming fewer calories in than you are burning. There we go. Having some technical difficulties there. There we go. Good. Cool. Making sure you can see that. So the what this means here is, as you see, you take in, if you consume 1,800 calories and you burn or use 2,300, you're going to lose. It's just that simple. That is a deficit. Whereas if you maintain your calories, this means that you're consuming about, for this example, 1,800 calories, and you're also burning or using 1,800 calories, okay? So this one is a deficit, and it doesn't take extremes at all. This one is maintenance, meaning that if you are not losing body fat or not losing weight, even if you feel like you're eating healthy, even if you feel like you are doing all the right things, you are by definition in a maintenance amount of calories. And then last, we have a surplus. This is what causes weight gain, but it's also what causes muscle building, okay? So a surplus there is, for this example, if you consume 2,300 calories, but you're only burning 1,800, you are going to gain either body fat or muscle depending on what your activity is. This is the simplest way to look at it, where again, you're either in a deficit, meaning that you're losing body fat, you're at maintenance, you're maintaining your body fat or body weight, or you're at a surplus where you're gaining muscle, or there's also what's known as reverse dieting, where we're at a surplus, but a very slow and specific surplus, which leads to the metabolism getting stronger or more robust, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys can see that too. I thought I was having technical difficulties, but it looks like it's showing up. So these are the three ways of adjusting calories to get different results. So let me know in the comments if that's making sense so far, okay? Now, why should you not just eat less? Why not just cut calories? Why not just cut out all your carbs, or just cut out soda, cut out all sweets, all things? Well, it's not about eating as little as possible unless you're okay with regaining all the fat later, or you're okay with being miserable or not doing things that are sustainable, okay? So in order to actually have a long-term, what we call a permanent transformation, you need to create a smart, sustainable deficit, meaning that we don't do, let's say, 1,800 calories in and we're burning, 3,000 calories, or 2,300 calories we're burning, but we're only taking in 1,200 calories, okay? We don't want to do that. That's the number one way to lose too much body mass, lean body mass, slow down the metabolism, and all of this. So safe deficits are going to be about a 15 to 20% deficit. So that's below, and I'll show you again, about 15 to 20% below your calories out is going to be a safe deficit, all right? That's what's going to lead to less of this stuff here. If you go too aggressive, you get what's known as metabolic adaptation, okay? This is where essentially you're going to have slower thyroid production, decreased testosterone function, increased cortisol, increased ghrelin. Cortisol is the stress hormone, ghrelin is the hunger hormone. So what this says is that your body is basically inflamed, not producing testosterone like it needs to, low thyroid function, and you're going to feel hungrier, which is the ghrelin hormone, because your body is basically trying to convince you to eat more so that you're not going to starve or lose too much lean body mass, which it needs, okay? So some of the symptoms are going to be fatigue, cravings, low mood, stubborn fat, poor sleep, craving lots and lots of sugar. All of there's so many more. There's 30-something different symptoms that you can get. But one of the big ones is you're not going to lose weight as quickly, if at all. And that's a problem we don't want you to be in. So how do we estimate your calories? Now, there are specific calorie formulas that you can use, but this is one of the simplest ones for people who don't like to math. So all you do is you take your body weight times 11 through 14. That's going to be your calorie range target. So if you're sedentary, do it times 11. If you're fairly active, do it between 12 or 13. If you're very active, multiply it by 14. So the example here, to be very simple, we're going to choose right at 12, is going to be 200 pounds times 12 equals 2,400 calories. If you're 200 pounds and you're active, you would take in about 2,400 calories in order to lose body fat. Guys, it does not get simpler than this. Now, is it better to do a more accurate way? Sure. And if you want that accurate way, you can click the link below and you can get access to my free fat loss calorie calculator as well. Not only is it going to give you your fat loss calories, it's going to help you to figure out your macronutrients too. But don't forget too, I've got another video that actually teaches you how to balance out those macronutrients as well, which is your protein, your fat, and your carbohydrates. So hopefully this is making sense. So body weight times 11 to 14 is going to give you a very, very simple and very quick target to lose body fat. So again, sedentary 11, active 12 to 13, very active 14, okay? And then if you want to have that calculated for you, even though this is a very, very easy thing, maybe you want it to be calculated where you've got your macros figured out and you don't want to do much more of the math, no problem. This is going to be that thing for you. So you can click the link and it's going to give you your custom fat burning numbers, okay? Knowing your calorie target, though, is just part one of this. You've got to have your balanced macros, your protein, your carbs, and your fats. If you don't have that balance, you may be malnourished, you may not feel as good, you might end up not putting on as much muscle, which means that you won't have as fast of a metabolism. Bottom line is it's going to mean that you're not going to be as comfortable. You won't see the results that you want if you don't balance and focus on those macronutrients as well. So be sure to check out my video, though, on actually how to set up those macronutrients so that they're optimized for your body, for your lifestyle. So again, you do know how many proteins, carbs, and fats that you need for your goals. But it really does come down to starting off with this total daily energy expenditure so we're not getting all of this stuff here. I cannot stress it enough. If you just go on a random diet, and by random, I mean anything from paleo to keto to Mediterranean, and you don't know at least approximately how many calories you need, you are risking bottom out those calories, and then you're going to lose potentially more lean body mass, which slows down metabolism, and potentially looking at slower thyroid, slower testosterone, increased cortisol. When cortisol is present in the body, it's going to alter all of the other hormonal functions happening, from digestion to cognitive function, all kinds of things, where you start feeling sluggish, foggy, all of that stuff, all because we went too low. So it is absolutely so important to make sure that you at least have a decent idea of how many calories you need. This is where this comes in, or if you want it more specific, you can use my fat loss calculator. It's so simple. Punch in a couple numbers. It's going to calculate your numbers for you. You can, and then put in your email so it knows where to send those numbers to, and then you're good to go. So if you want to learn more of the ins and outs of fat loss nutrition, besides just calories, besides just macronutrients, where you want to learn on how to overcome certain hunger cues and identify if the hunger cues that you've got are more related to stress and boredom, or if they're more related to your body needing more calories. Also, if you want to learn how to put together your own meal plans, my book, Food, Love, and Fat Loss, is the perfect way to do that. The full book is called Food, Love, and Fat Loss, the most comprehensive guide to losing fat, not flavor. It's an important thing to me. It's an important thing to so many of my clients over the last 20 years, is that we don't just want to get in shape. We want to actually be able to enjoy life. I have a firm belief that being healthy and fit should not be the center of your life, but it should amplify the quality of your life, meaning that you are healthy and fit, so you have more confidence, more energy, and you're showing up to be more present as yourself. But it doesn't mean that you're residing to bring in chicken and kale everywhere you go, swearing off all junk food, swearing off all restaurants and barbecues, church functions, etc. Okay? So the idea here is that it's going to help you to get real food freedom without sabotaging your goals. So wouldn't it be great to actually be as fit as you can possibly be while enjoying food, not living in the gym, and loving what you see in the mirror and how you fit in your clothes? That is what we want to do here on this channel. So go ahead and grab my book, Food, Love, and Fat Loss, in the description below if that serves you. If not, no worries whatsoever. Just use the calculator, or you can use this method that I just showed you right here. This is a game changer whenever you're using this regularly, because even if you kind of forget, like, oh my gosh, where should I be at? Or I don't know, it's been a year since I've last tracked or figured out where my calories are. 11 through 14. Just remember those numbers 11 through 14, and you can determine, even if you forget, am I sedentary, active, very active? The lower the number goes means that you're less active. The higher the number goes means you're more active. You can mess with it. If you're losing more than 2 pounds a week, you have gone too low in your calories. Aiming for about 1.5 pounds a week is really the goal. Now, that's only if you're not strength training. If you're strength training, you need to know you can still lose 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of fat per week. But if you're building muscle, it may not show up on the scale. This is what we call body recomposition. And this is why you want to take photos, you want to do your measurements, and you want to take your body fat percentage so that you're not only using one metric, which is just the scale. I've had so many people. In fact, one of my clients this last month, she only dropped, she's at the end of her fat loss phase, she only dropped 2 pounds, but she dropped 2 full percent of body fat. I mean, it's a major deal, a full inch off of her waist, all just from doing this thing, doing it the right way, okay? Now, I've got other clients that have lost even more. One client of mine has lost 40 pounds in the last just barely over 3 months, a little bit healthier metabolism, a little bit different scenario, but the point is, it's all doing this the safe, sustainable way, and that's what this channel is all about. So thank you guys so much for watching. That's all I've got for you today. If you feel like this video was helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Lastly, don't forget to check out my video on understanding your macronutrient ratios from protein, carbs, fats, and understanding fiber. And if you are one of those who likes to have an occasional glass of wine, I'll teach you a little bit about the alcohol calories as well. So that's everything, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you on the next one.